This video is all about how to manage knee pain during your workouts during ACL rehab. So, if you had surgery on your knee or you're rehabbing from an ACL injury, then it's inevitable that you might experience some knee pain at some point in your rehab process. But how we respond whenever that pain happens is the key difference. So, number one, if you have pain during a workout or after a workout, don't panic because it can be perfectly normal. That pain is just giving us information that what we did during that session felt like it exceeded the capacity for that knee's load at that time, which is okay. So, what we're going to do is look at the workout that we had the pain during. Maybe you can identify if there was a certain exercise that caused that pain, or maybe you can identify it was when you pushed it to a certain weight that caused that pain. Regardless, try and reflect, take notes on the workout itself, and then be able to provide that information for me to be able to manipulate your workouts for you and make changes. Because there's no such thing as a perfect exercise or perfect workout. We can always make changes to it to meet your needs and to meet your knee where it's at. Second point here is this concept of treating your knee like we're cooking a steak. So, if you've ever cooked a steak on a grill, it's always easier to undercook it and then be able to cook it a little more versus overcook and burn the steak and then there's no going back. So, that's how we want to look at your knee during these workouts and during ACL rehab. We don't want to overcook the steak right away. Overcooking the steak for your knee looks like trying to really push the weights as hard as you can every single time you go into the gym, doing as much weight as possible, pushing through pain, ignoring swelling. Then you have an overcooked steak. An overcooked steak's really hard to deal with because then we have to deload, we have to take a rest, we have to be able to take time off in order to get your knee into a happy state for you to move forward. But if we undercook the steak and err on the side of caution and maybe just meet your knee where it's at with a decent challenge, we can always add more. We can always be like, all right, let's try and increase that weight. Let's add another set. Let's take your exercises to the next level so we can keep building on it versus having to pull things back. So listen to your knee. Pain and swelling are signs that it needs help and that we need to modify something. So when in doubt and you're trying to pick a weight for an exercise, if it's a 0 to 10 scale of difficulty, you rarely should ever be at a 10 out of 10. You should be operating more at that 7 out of 10 on your difficulty scale. So we're getting an adequate challenge, but not overcooking the steak and stressing out your knee so then it doesn't have time to recover between your workouts. So think about how this applies to your situation, your pain, your workouts, and be able to give that information back to me so we can help build you a plan that doesn't cause you to feel like we're overcooking the steak.